Hello and welcome to another episode of Tips and Ideas with Ed Wallace of Midwest Landscaping, www.uniqueenvironments.com. Today we're going to talk a little bit about choosing turf grass for your business or your home. I just got finished talking with a client over here in Rowland Heights, California, concerning a new lawn they like to install into their backyard. And I went over and talked with them and asked a couple questions about the purpose of the lawn, from the standpoint if it's going to be a play area, if it's an area that they just want to have green and beautiful, or just kind of like what their living style is and what they want to do with their backyard. Upon arriving at the house, I was greeted by 3 different types of dogs: a small dog, a medium dog, and a big dog. The big dog kind of blended in with the other dogs that kind of kicked off the welcoming committee. The small dog was basically led the committee, and it was great because they have a really good security system there, a live security system. So I really appreciate that, and I applaud their efforts in being able to protect their home and their safety. The dogs are pretty cool, pretty nice, but that led me to understand one thing about that property right off the top, and that's the fact that they have animals. And with animals, especially dogs, by animals I mean they have pets, which is basically dogs. That means that they have deposits that they leave around in different parts of the yard, depending on what part of the yard that they have jurisdiction over. And it seems like in most cases the dogs have jurisdiction over the entire yard. And so I wasn't fooled by that. I went back there, and first thing they told me was to watch out where I step, because there are animal minds in different areas, and I assured them that I was quite versed in animal minds in my many years of doing landscape maintenance. That was one of the things I had to do first, was go out and inspect the yard to either clean up or avoid dog minds in the yard from the clients that I did maintenance for. But anyway, that gave me a first-hand update of what's happening in the backyard. And one thing we have to plan for is to have a turf or a grass that's going to be able to take the abuses and just the natural living patterns of the dogs. Now, no grass or turf, what we call turf in the business, is going to be able to sustain a lot of life with dog urine. Dog urine is a salt, so no matter what type of grass variety that you use, you're going to have some staining and spotting, actually spotting, not so much staining, of urine wherever the dog does its thing. Legend is, I guess the female urine is a lot stronger than the male's urine from the standpoint of that urine out in the yard burning. But urine is urine, man. Basically it's salts, and those salts will basically burn the grass. In situations where we have pets, I always recommend, at least here in Southern California, that the client utilizes St. Augustine or Bermuda turf in the installation of their new lawn. A lot of times clients, they don't like it. Like this particular client that I spoke with, they don't like St. Augustine. It's too hard, the blade is too wide, as if they're going to roll around in it and frolic. But for whatever reason, the clients don't like, some clients do not like St. Augustine. And Bermuda, I hear the claims that it's just too much maintenance involved with Bermuda, so that they don't want to have Bermuda lawns either. In either case, the best lawns that I think, especially here in Southern California, is your more heat, more warm season grasses. And the reason why I like that is because they seem to have a tendency to send out runners, which are rhizomes, which basically help to fill in different areas of the yard as they grow. So they have long tendrils that basically grow out, and so the Bermuda and the St. Augustine lawns, they kind of like what I call self-repairing. And so they'll, if a dog does this urine thing in one particular spot and that area burns, St. Augustine and Bermuda has a tendency to cover up that spot by sending out these rhizomes, or to send out these tentacles of how the growth pattern of the St. Augustine and the Bermuda grows. It tends to spread out. It's a spreader. So it kind of helps camouflage that urine spot. Tall fescue, Our dwarf fescue variety grasses are a single-bladed grass. Once that blade is affected by the urine, that's it. It has to be replaced. And being able to overseed or cut out a divot wherever the urine spot is and replace it with another divot of fresh tall fescue sod, it may be a quick fix, but what happens is the urine has salts in it, and those salts combine into the matrix of the soil. And so no matter what you do, that salt is still in the soil unless if you leach it out. And I don't foresee my clients or yourself going out leaching or putting a water hose to an area to wash you out or to drain out the salts in a particular area, and just to have that dog come and piss, or urinate in another area close to it or in the same proximity. So you're doing all that leaching and stuff all over again. So in a lot of cases, your St. Augustine is going to be your best, your Bermuda is going to be the best, your tall fescue is going to be on the lower end of the scale because of that fact that once it's burned, it's burned. Another grass is pretty good if you do like that single-bladed look is actually bluegrass. Bluegrass has a tendency to travel out or to spread somewhat like Bermuda and St. Augustine, but not as aggressively. The grass is a darker blue color. Where I grew up back in central Ohio, we have a lot of bluegrass, and that grass is very drought tolerant and also very durable to activities. I played a lot of sand lot football on a lot of Bermuda lawns and lots, and it held up very well. And so there are some nurseries that have a blend of bluegrass and fescue, so you have you have the best of both worlds. So basically having a single-bladed grass plus a grass that has a little bit of aggressive trailing characteristics, so that in situations where you have urine spots and damage from either drought or abuse, those areas seem to kind of like fill themselves back in, kind of like a self-repairing type of lawn situation. And so I told the clients about those choices, and now we're just going to line out the area. They're going to clean up the existing area where they're thinking about putting the lawn in. There's a lot of weeds and seeds and stuff there from the weeds, so I encourage them to get all that cleaned up and to rake it out really good before they do any excavating or rototilling of the area to get things prepped up for the new grass. So once they get it all cleaned up, we can line out the areas where they're going to be planter beds and sidewalk areas, pathways, and we can measure up the square footage and give her a quote on how much this sod is going to cost to install. And so there you go. That's a little bit of a update and an idea and a tip concerning choosing grasses, especially when you have pets, and some of the choices that I give my clients here in Southern California. Where you live may be a little bit different in choices of what varieties of grasses are available, but there you go. And that's it for today. We're riding remote. I know you're probably jiggling around and a lot of vibrations on the video, so please excuse me for that. I'm learning the best way to do these. Doing remote is not always the best, but hey, I just throw my hat in the ring and see what happens. Ed Wallace, Midwest Landscaping. Tips and ideas. www.ridingremote here in Southern California.com.